What's up, family? Welcome back to the channel. Now today we're going to tackle one of those questions that people ask me all the time. Is Jacksonville right for me? And over the past couple of years, Jacksonville has become a hot spot for relocation, attracting some of these singles families, and has even been ranked as one of the best places to retire. Now with this growing economy, this warm weather that we have down here, and the affordable cost of living, it's easy to understand why people are drawn to the River City. But here's the thing. Jacksonville isn't for everyone. Now, there's some surprising aspects that we have here that you may not expect. And by the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of whether Jacksonville is a right fit for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to break down 7 things, right? 7 things that just might not be a right fit for you. Plus, I'm going to give you some tips to avoid these things so you don't end up saying, why didn't anyone tell me about this? Okay, so let's get into Jacksonville summers. They're no joke. Now, I'm talking from June to September. We're talking about 90+ degree temps with humidity so thick it feels like you're walking through a sauna.
It's so damn hot.
And then you're going to have the storms. 1 minute, it's going to be sunny. Next minute, boom, thunderstorms, nonstop lightning, and rain so heavy you can barely see. But don't worry, because it gives up in about 20 minutes and it'll clear up like nothing ever happened. My advice, ladies, silk press, don't do it. The humidity, it's going to knock it all out. Fellas, invest in some baby powder. Trust me, you'll thank me later. And everyone else, keep an umbrella in your car at all times. And just when you think you've survived the heat and thunderstorm, here comes hurricane season. From June to November, keep an eye out for tropical storms. Now, Jacksonville doesn't get hit like South Florida does with hurricanes, but we still want to be prepared for it. And hurricane snacks are a thing. But here's the rule. You can only eat them during the storm. Listen, I don't make the rules up, but that's the rule. Okay, so Jacksonville has critters, and it can be a shock for the newcomers, especially if you're not used to sharing space with nature. So let's start with the basics, right? Insects, mosquitoes in particular, and it's kind of like a rite of passage, especially during the winter months. But if you're planning on spending any time outdoors, bug spray is your best friend. Reason being, because mosquitoes might be our state bird. Then there's the palmetto bug, right? Which is basically Florida's way of saying, welcome to the South. These are large flying roaches, and they can scare you. And I'm man enough to say that a couple of times I've let out when I've seen them, but don't worry, they are not dangerous. I just wouldn't leave my windows open at night because you're going to have some unexpected visitors. Then you have the gnats, the ones that are tiny, that float all around your face and in your mouth, but they're not harmful at all. They're just annoying as heck, and definitely when you're outside at night, they can be a damper on the entire even. Don't worry. There's something called a lizard, and we have them in large amounts, and they'll definitely be the ones that are eating the gnats and maybe the palmetto bugs, but guess what? That's just how we live down here. Then let's talk about alligators. We have them. That's all I'm going to say from the beginning. We have alligators. Now, I want to put your mind at rest. They're not everywhere. You're not going out on a morning jog and they're running right beside you. They're not knocking on your doors asking for sandwiches. They're typically in a place where you'll see them in the wild. So don't be too scared, but I wouldn't have my little kids and my pets out by the water. Typically when they're in neighborhoods, the HOA takes them out at 4 feet because that's when they're more aggressive. But that's just a couple of the things that you'll find down here. You're going to find wild hogs, armadillos, raccoons. I hate them. They have little people hands. You're going to find possums. This is the South, guys. So any critter that you're looking for is probably going to be in Duval. Quick PSA. If you've been here before, you already know what I'm going to say. Get up, get your own water. You're family now. If you have not, do me a favor. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications as I try to put out all things Jax, where to eat, where to live, where to play. And if you do not know, my name is Dr. Adrian A. Gentry, aka Dr. Real Estate Jax. My team, we've literally helped hundreds of people make their transition down to this city. So we know firsthand what works and what does not work. So if you're trying to escape the cold from up north or the expensive west, maybe right here in Jacksonville, time to upgrade. Give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We're the guys that pick up the phone, answers the text, answers the email. We would love to make your transition to Jacksonville as smooth as possible. Now, you can trust us. This is where we are experts. Now, let's get on to the next one. So public transportation in Jacksonville. We have it, but it's basically like a myth. Some people have claimed to see it, but for the most part, it's like Bigfoot. There's rumors it exists, but nobody relies on it. Now, if you're coming from a city with great public transportation, this will be a huge adjustment for you guys. The reality, yes, we have bus routes, but these are limited and not really reliable. No subways, no commuter rail, no high-speed transit to different areas of the city. If you don't drive, getting from point A to point B can be like a full-time job. Now, I'm not saying you can't live in Jacksonville without a car, but let's just say it's not idle. The Jacksonville Transit Authority does operate local bus systems, and they have services like a JTA Connection, a paratransit service for seniors and the disabled residents. You do have the express bus routes, limited availability in certain areas and in high traffic areas, and then the Skyway. It's like a tiny automated train downtown Jacksonville that barely covers any ground at all. But here's the reality. JTA isn't built for everyday commuting the way systems are in places like New York, Chicago, Jersey, DC. Your options here, you're probably gonna have to do rideshare. Yeah, I'm talking about Uber and Lyft, but it can get pretty expensive pretty fast. Biking may work in some areas and those feet, but it's not always in an area where you're going to be bike friendly. Carpooling, I don't even know who ever used that option. And so unless you're fine with walking miles in the Florida heat, you're most likely going to need a car to be comfortable. But on the bright side, parking is easier compared to many big cities. But if you hate driving, Jacksonville may not be the city for you. Now, if you have kids, choosing the right school is going to be a big deal. And in Jacksonville, that means doing your research. Now, Duval Public Schools, now they've made a little bit of progress, but the reality, public schools vary greatly in this area. And what I mean is sometimes in the same neighborhood. Elementary, A, when you get to high school, C, D, but the Duval County School, it serves about 120 students, which means it's super diverse. And in 2024, about 35% of those schools were either A or B ratings. Some are growing, some are still improving. But we have schools like Stanton and Paxson for advanced studies, and these are consistently amongst the best in the city. If you're looking for top tier schools, you're going to want to take a look at St. John's in Clay County. St. John's School District has been ranked #1 in Florida for years. Now, they're known for their test scores, they're known for their strong academics, and they're well-funded schools. Schools like Ponte Vedra High School, Cross-Side High School, and Bartram Trail High School are among the top performers in the entire state. Clay County School District. Now, this one consistently ranks among the top school districts in Florida as well. Now, it's going to offer you like a mix of between A-rated schools with like strong curriculums, right? Schools like Fleming Island High School, Oakleaf High School, some of the best in the entire area. And of course, you're going to have private schools. Now, private schools, they can be an alternative, but they're also coming with a higher price tag. So we have Bishop Kenny, Bowles, and Episcopal School. And here in Jacksonville, they're the top rated private schools. Charter schools offer tuition free, but it's a fight to get in, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. Specialized programs, but they're kind of limited to who can get in. So if you're moving to Jacksonville with a school-age kid, do me a favor, do your homework on what school zones before you choose your neighborhood. Jacksonville is still growing, which means constant construction. Now check this out, Jacksonville is booming. And while that's a great thing for the economy, it means constant construction. New roads, new businesses, new neighborhoods, it's all happening. But if you're trying to go anywhere without hitting a detour, traffic cones, good luck. If you hate the sound of jackhammers, like I really hate the sound of jackhammers, it's not going away anytime soon. If you drive on I-95 or 295, you're probably going to see express lanes projects everywhere. The toll roads aim to ease congestion, but for right now, they're making traffic worse near downtown and the town center area. The highway expansion designated to connect I-10 to I-95, making commutes from Clay County to St. John's easier. But for now, more construction delays until it's fully complete. And it's not just roads. Some of Jacksonville's historic neighborhoods are getting a major glow up as well. Springfield, once kind of overlooked, is now one of those Jacksonville communities that's becoming some of the trendiest neighborhoods. Restored homes, coffee shops, new restaurants are popping up everywhere, but ongoing renovation, meaning you'll hear a lot of construction. Also places like Durkeeville, this historic neighborhood right near downtown, is seeing some new investments, housing, infrastructure, pressure, making it on the rise for new homeowners looking for affordable living near the city. So what does all of this mean to you? We're growing fast, which is exciting, but it also means that there's going to be road closures, delays, and detours. Check traffic updates every day. Plan extra time to get through all the new construction and the cranes and the slowdowns that you're going to find in Jacksonville. It's not slowing down anytime soon because we are on the rise. All right, so let's talk about insurance. Probably not the most exciting topic, but it's definitely something that you want to talk about before you buy a home here in Jacksonville or in Florida. Now, I know you've been thinking Florida, near the coast, it's probably going to be crazy expensive, right? Not exactly. Yes, costs have risen here in Jacksonville, Florida, but we have never worked with any buyer that's really seen an outrageous premium, even on homes off the river. Now, that said, it's smart to know what affects the insurance, and you have to be prepared. So what's going to affect that insurance? A few things. Flood zone and proximity to water. Now, homes in a flood zone or near the coast may have higher premiums, but most in the Northeast Florida area aren't at high risk. Older homes. If you have a house with older roof, older plumbing, or older electricity system, you're expected to pay higher prices. Newer homes or upgrade ones, much cheaper. Hurricane protection. Now, homes with an impact windows, newer roofs, and a wind mitigation report get you big discounts. Is it mandatory to have flood insurance on all houses in Florida? No. In my years of selling, we've only had a handful of buyers that actually needed flood insurance. And we've even sold homes right off the river that did not require it at all. So unless you're in a high risk zone, it's totally an optional fee. Now, how to keep these costs low? Buy an updated home, guys. Don't look for that home that you actually have to put money into because you think you're making money, but that you think you're saving money because you bought a home that you can fix up. Shop around for insurance. You're going to want to go ahead, shop around for insurance, and possibly get the best rate that you can find. And get a wind mitigation and 4-point inspection. Now, these two things can save you tons of money on your policy if the insurance company reviews them. So Florida homes isn't as bad as most people think, especially in Jacksonville, Florida. Now, if you're choosing the right home in the right area, you're probably going to pay much less than you expect. Now, I've said it before, and I'm gonna continue saying this, right? You need to understand, Jacksonville, land-wise, is the largest area in the United States, which means you're going to do a lot of driving. And if you're commuting from one side to the other side with no traffic at all, I tell everybody, it's gonna take you 34 minutes. I don't know why it's that specific, but it tends to always take me 34 minutes. Now, during rush hour, you might be talking about an hour, but by no means at all is this Atlanta, DC, or New York traffic. Now, so we had a couple customers come in town, and that's one thing they're worried about is the commute because they're coming from smaller towns. They're used to traveling shorter distances. So they're always kind of looking at home right near where they actually work so they can cut down on the drive time. It's something to keep in mind if you're not a fan of long commute or if you just value your sanity in general. When you get here, it's probably going to get used to it, right? It just kind of works out that way. I literally plan my schedule around the 34-minute rule, so I'm never late. And as far as the landscape of Jacksonville, well, we have the beautiful beaches, we have the rivers, and we have the marshland. But if you're someone who loves the mountains, rolling hills, dramatic landscapes, you might not find that terrain here. You're going to be a bit underwhelmed. Compared to places like Colorado and even North Carolina, Jacksonville landscape is pretty flat. That said, the city offers plenty of outdoor activities like kayaking, fishing, beach going, and of course hiking. But if you like to hike through the mountains, and I don't know what, bird watch, I don't know what you guys do up in those mountains, you're definitely not going to get it here in Jacksonville. Okay, so last but not least, I had to give you guys one more. Now let's talk about cost of living. And we get comments all the time about how housing market has gotten more expensive, and I'm going to tell you this. Yes, it's gotten more expensive. Since 2020, house prices have gone up, food prices have gone up, gas prices have gone up, and I'm not too happy about it, but I have to make this clear. Prices have gone up everywhere, in every city in the US, and I do not like it. But to compare to other cities in Florida, like Miami, Tampa, and Orlando, we are literally the most affordable. And after talking to literally hundreds of people relocating to Jacksonville, the number one reason they're moving here is the cost of living. And number two is the weather. Think about that. When you're saying cost of living are inflated just in Jacksonville, it's happening everywhere across the country. We're just happening to be one of those large cities that are affordable. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys, right? So I wanted to break it down for you guys. I wanted to show you a couple of things that may be pros to some people and cons to others. I tell everybody this is always specific to you. Like, what are the things that you can't handle when moving to Jacksonville, Florida? But you know, in every video, I put 2 more videos up here, right there and right there. So you can check out a couple of more of the videos that we have about what's going on in Jacksonville, Florida. And somewhere in here, probably right there, I'm going to drop my phone number. If you're looking to move to Jacksonville, or if you're already living here and you need to find a new home, give us a call, shoot us a text, shoot us an email. We're the guys that pick up the phone, answers the text, answers the emails. But like I said in every video, until next time, be great and choose excellence at everything you do.